And Chef D just like, yeah, and Anthony.
This very moment I'll bring, put it on everything, that I will retire with the ring. Retire with the ring. Retire with the ring.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and this is Travion TV. Now, before we start the video, make sure to go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the post notifications button so you can get the notification every time I post a video because, you know, I'm being consistent with it. So anyway, in today's video, it's going to be episode 2 review of Bad Boys Houston, Bad Boys Texas, whatever the fuck the name of it is, because they changed the name from the time they did the auditions to the time the show started. Anyway, if you know, you know. So let's just go ahead and get into this review. So the episode starts off with Real and Lou fighting. So y'all know the last episode ended off with Real and Lou Real walked up to Lou after he heard his name, and then he charged him with his head down like a bitch that can't fight. And you know, Real gave him 2 uppercuts, right? So that's how it started off. So Real like, I just had to get that bitch 2 uppercuts because she wanted to run up on me. And then Lou like, bitch, I need a scrunchie, bitch, I need a scrunchie. They just yelling. So, to make a long story short, Real, because he already wasn't trying to fight with the boy anyway, he de-escalated the situation. He just like, I was just trying to let you know that I just didn't appreciate what was going on. That's it. I don't think nobody understand why Lou was so fucking angry to this day. Like I said in the last video, it was just giving too much. So, they end up dapping up or whatever, and they squashed it. So, in the next scene, they on the bus. So, they split up on 2 buses. It's Jonathan, Lou, D, Mo, and Raz B. And then on the other bus is Really, Orlando, that other dude, whoever else the fuck is over there, Carry-On. I cannot think of that short dude name. It's like Ezra or something like that. Ezra. I don't know. I'm going to call him Ezra. Y'all know who I'm talking about when I say Ezra, okay? So they all on the bus, and Lou, he being a fucking groupie. He like, yeah, because Jonathan, you just blacked out. And Jonathan was like, bitch, it wasn't no blacked out. That shit was calculated and planned. Like we already knew. It was still lame. Anyway, so Chef D, he joking in the confessionals about how he feel bad. Then he like, no, I don't feel bad. With them big ass fucking teeth in his mouth. Girl, give it a break. You really trying to be like cool and you not. Him and Lou, they trying to be cool, like they trying to be on the winning team, like who they feel like the fans is gonna like more, because the fans like Jonathan more last year, but that was a whole different situation. They just being like groupies, and I don't like that. So on the other bus, Really's just talking about how when they get to the house, you know, he wanna get Anthony to talk to Jonathan and D, because he want Anthony to be there. You know, he like, I'm cool with Anthony, but you know, I'm friends with Jonathan. Or so they supposed to be, honey. So, old dude Ezra, he like, yeah, I don't fuck with that Chef D bitch. And everybody like, oh, okay. Yeah, he like, I don't fuck with that Chef D bitch, and I'm gonna check that hoe. And I'm like, okay, girl, go ahead. So, we get to the house, and y'all already know it's the Zeus tradition for everybody to fight over rooms or whatever. Pick your own room. Free man's land, whatever the fuck they call it. So, y'all already know Jonathan, he gonna get the biggest room, or the first room he wanted. Him and Chef D end up in the same room. But you know, he put Chef D out the room real fast. He like, nah, bitch, this is my motherfucking room. And Chef D just politely gets out the room. And he like, kiki in and shit. But Jonathan literally kicked him. Like, he kicked him. I don't take that joker shit too serious. I mean, I take that joker shit very serious, like, when it comes to putting your hands on me. Like, we can joke all day, but when somebody start putting their hands on you and, like, hitting you hard as fuck, I don't like that. That shit will piss me off. Like, for real, bitch. I don't play with you bitches like that. So then, next, we get to Relly room. So, now Chef D is in the room with Relly and Ezra. So, they just having a little kiki or whatever, and then, you know, the fight comes up, and Ezra said what he said he was gonna do. He tells Chef D, he was like, I don't like how you jumped in that fight because I just felt like Jonathan was enough for him, and Jonathan was. So why the fuck Chef D turn around and lie talking about, I didn't even see Jonathan fight him. And then 5 seconds later, he talking about, well, I waited till Jonathan was done. Bitch, so which one is it? Did you not see the fight, or did you wait till he was done with him? And just like Ezra said, bitch, if it's the second one, you didn't have to do that. You could have waited your turn. But he sat there and argued with the man. They went back and forth, because he's trying to say he didn't do nothing wrong, basically. To the point where he's all off the subject of jumping in the fight. And he like, you don't know what he did. He calling people. He trying to mess up my business. That's fine and dandy. And you know what I'm saying? We can address that when we get to that. We're not talking about that. We talking about you jumping in some shit that was already handled. Okay? That's what we talking about. Should be. That's what we talking about. Okay? So Ezra finally just be like, okay, and let the shit go. And they stop talking about it. Okay? So now, Ezra goes to the other room that's right across from Really's room. Obviously, from how it was shot, he was in there first. So Chef D come behind him and he like, man, where I'm gonna sleep at? Where I'm gonna sleep at? Mind you, he already been kicked out of rooms twice now by Jonathan and Really, like, cause he came in the room with Really like, well, I like this room too, and Really like, nah, bitch, this is my room. So he decides to get booked on Lil Short Dude Ezra. I do not know that's his name, and I keep saying it, was just bear with me. Anyway, he decided to get booked on Lil Ezra, and I did not motherfucking like that. But he did not stand for that shit. He was like, you not finna do this with me. Like, we not finna do this. We not finna do this. And Big D like, do what? Do what? You could tell he that kind of nigga that was like big but didn't like to fight. And that's fine. Like, you don't have to be that person, but don't put on like you are. And I feel like that's what he's doing right now. So I'm not fucking with it at all. So he finally just leaves it alone and he let the boy have the room. He walks out the room. Okay? So they show Kerrion, Raz B, and Orlando Brown. Well, first of all, it starts off with Kerrion and Raz B, and they walking into the baby room. So Kerrion like, well, damn, I guess it's my room. First of all, Kerrion, you a weak ass bitch. Because if I'm season 1, I'm not sleeping in no bunk bed ass room. Like, we see these shows. That's how they play the weak bitches. The people who's supposed to be the lames of the season. But you took it. I mean, I'll give you a pat on your back for like being humble and like taking it to the chin. But no, what the fuck? I would not have let them put me in that room. No. But he let it happen. So he like, well, you know, I'm gonna take this one to the chin. So in the next city, hopefully I get a good room. It wouldn't be no hopefully. That's why you're on Bad Boys. They want y'all to fight for these rooms. And I want you to fight for it too. Fight for the room. I don't give a fuck. Fight for the room. So then we get to Prince finding his room. So really, Prince got the nicest room in the house, if you ask me, from what it looked like. So Orlando Brown and Raz B, they walk in the room. So I called this in my notes. I was like, the straights talking. So all the straight boys talking in the room, and Orlando and Raz B looking around like, damn, we really want this room. But them little short ass niggas, they weren't finna press Prince for their room, so they didn't. And Prince proceeds to tell Orlando Brown, like, it's really crazy from just being here with you, like, being able to actually see how you are, because, and he talking about from how you're portrayed on social media. No, how he portrays himself on social media. Well, go ahead. He like, how you're portrayed on social media, I would have never thought that you had, like, so much sense, that you're so, like, you can have intellectual conversations, basically. And Orlando was like, wow, thank you. And then in his confessional, he like, I guess that's why I got a baby and a wife. And his Natalie laugh. But it's like, okay, Natalie got a baby and a husband, and she's still not all the way there. The bitch's a little, you know. Like she said on Bobby's show, I'm a real psycho crazy bitch. Like, I go dumb. I said, Natalie, please, bitch, go to bed. So then we get to Jonathan and Lou in the room talking. You know, Lou is Jonathan's little lap dog, his little puppy. He want to be anywhere Jonathan is, anywhere he feel like the camera time is. I skipped the part where he got his room because it really don't matter. But yeah, I think he kicked D out too. There was another person that was like, nah, bitch, this is my room, and he didn't press them. Anyway, so they in the room talking, and then Really show up, and Jonathan like, I already know what the fuck going on. Really finna try to get us to talk. He finna try to get me to talk to Anthony, because you know Jonathan is an executive producer, so obviously he knows what's going on. So Really ass pop up in the bag like this, creepy as fuck, and then him and Lou, they start talking, they start play fighting. I'm like, I just do not like Lou. I do not fucking like him. Anywho, really tell Jonathan, like, you're gonna have to talk to Anthony, or we're gonna have a sit down, whatever. And Jonathan, like, I ain't finna do shit. Y'all know how Jonathan is. So the next scene is Prince and Mo City, and they out in the backyard, and they like, oh shit, we got a basketball court. So they take their fine asses on the basketball court, and they shooting some hoops or whatever. And Prince take his shirt off, and bitch, I was just like, ooh, he is fine. He's very corny, but he's fine. And the way his ass poke out, I said, oh yes ma'am. Not the train. So JB is basically trying not to look at Prince, how I feel. But anyway, he was like, so where Anthony at? Because Orlando and Raz B, now at this point, they out there on the field. So he like, where Anthony? And then Raz B and Orlando, they all talking about where Anthony might be, da-da-da-da. And Prince like, I don't really give a fuck where Anthony's at. And that just made me feel like he was the only straight nigga on the season, and I don't care. It's no shade, and I really don't give a fuck. I feel like everybody else is a little zesty, but I feel like Prince is too. But they just gave me the most straight vibes. You feel me? Because why are we talking about this big booty nigga? Why do we hear about where this big booty light skinned nigga at? That's why I just feel like JB wanna fuck Anthony. I might be rich and I do not give a fuck. Anyway, so after that, they all in the kitchen. And Azra is saying again how he don't like what Jonathan them did. And Jonathan like, well, you don't know this bitch a fake ass bitch. You ever been in some shit and you didn't know you was in some shit? That's Anthony. He'll have you in some shit and you didn't know you was in some shit. Now that was funny. That was funny. I said, well damn. When you give the example like that, Anthony might be a weird ass bitch. But who knows? Because mind y'all, I told y'all what they was beefing about on the last video. So the next scene, they all outside and everybody chilling. This was the coolest scene. They all was rapping, you know, everybody freestyling and shit. Literally everybody was together except for Anthony. And I feel like this is gonna be the only scene that we get in the whole series where everybody's just sitting down, cool, having a good time, except for Anthony. Really calls Anthony and he like, bitch, where you at? Anthony like, I'm coming to the house because I'm not finna go out like no bitch. Anthony gets to the house. He talking to Relly and Carry On. And they basically like, so, you know, what really happened? Well, that's what Carry On asked. Because, you know, Carry On want to get his little messy time in, too. And I live. So he like, what happened? Anthony tells the story. Like I told y'all, he booked old dude, Rio. He like, I took his money. Like, it wasn't like I was being cool with him. Like, you don't fuck with him. Like, I'm your friend, but he paying me. So I'm just taking his money. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we gonna skip past that because we already know that story. If you know, you know. So fast forward to the final scene. They all gather around the pool table and Anthony is addressing Jonathan. And he basically like, that shit really hurt my feelings. Like, that gagged me. I thought you was more mature than that, if anything. Like, I feel like Anthony was really speaking some grown ass shit. He was speaking from the heart and it was just real. And other people was like on social media, like in the comments, was like, oh, then he copping pleas and stuff like that. And I don't feel like he was copping a plea. He was being dead ass. Like, he was being real. He was being genuine. Because I don't think Anthony is scared of them. Because if he was, he wouldn't have came twice. You feel me? Because when he got to Chef D, baby, he said we had to say to Jonathan. And Jonathan was basically like, he didn't give a fuck. So he turned to Chef D and he like, and you, bitch, I don't fuck with you, pussy asshole. That's what he said. He's like, I don't fuck with you because you a pussy asshole. And Chef D just like, yeah, and Anthony proceeds to chunk him off, girl. And then the real tea came in when Anthony said that all them used to live with him, girl. Did y'all catch that? And then D was like, I ain't live with you. And he said, okay, girl, we ain't even gonna talk about it. You definitely lived with me, but we're gonna move past it. And I feel like that really set Chef D off. Now, mind y'all, Anthony has a wrap on his hand. Who knows if his hand was really fucked up, but anyway. And then he said his head was throbbing because he had just got the shit knocked out of him by Jonathan. So he said he didn't want to fight. But, you know, he said what he said, so I guess he still was ready to fight. I was living for Anthony, and I felt bad for him. Anywho, Chef D brings his big ass around the hockey table, and Anthony like, bitch, back up, bitch, back up. And he swings on Anthony. So they fighting. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was just like a little 1-2. But then when they showed the preview for next episode, Fucking D had a ring on his finger and hit Anthony with that ring. And now Anthony shit swole. I just feel so bad for the boy. It was just very immature. Like, there was nothing to fight about. If y'all gonna put on for the cameras, like, at least make it something that happened on the show. Like, even if it's some petty shit on the show, that would have been more entertaining. This is just, like, cringy to watch. It, like, make me feel bad. It don't sit right in my spirit. Like, I'm gonna keep watching, but I just feel like these niggas are gonna rub me the wrong way the whole season. No shade. But we'll just have to see. That's all I got for this review. If y'all like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like I said, hit the post notification so you can get a notification every time I post a video. Y'all leave a comment down below. Do y'all think that Jonathan and Chef D were being immature and childish? Are y'all team Jonathan or team Anthony? Let me know down below. And I'll catch y'all on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I'll see y'all on the next video. Thank y'all for watching.